This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good evening. Welcome to the Easthampton City Council meeting for Wednesday, January 4th. The meeting, third. Thank you. It's the third, not the fourth. The meeting tonight is being recorded and broadcast by Easthampton Media on Charter Channel 193 and live streaming on their webpage, easthamptonmedia.org. Councilors are participating in this meeting are gathered in hybrid on the order extended until March 2025, which allow us to do so. I remind both the member of the City Council and the public participating remote remain mute until recognized by the City Council President. Also, for the member of the public, please remove your camera for the duration of the meeting unless you are participating in the public speak time or the public hearing. Thank you. This meeting is now called to order. Barbara.
Connie Denham. Here. Salem Derby. Omar Gomez.
Here.
JP Kaczynski.
Here.
Tom Peake.
Here.
Brad Riley.
Here.
Tamara Smith.
Here.
JT Terrell.
Here.
Owen Zaret.
Present.
Please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to break out for the City Council's committee for the reorganizational meetings. So I would recommend the councilor will start choosing who's going to be the clerk and the chairperson of those committees, and we're going to do it now.
Finance. All right. Do you guys want to be you're just a rule, sorry.
Oh.
Thank you, councilors, and thank you, everybody, for your patience. Now I will take a motion to approve the minutes of December 20, 2023.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of December 20, 2023. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Those one in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Abstention?
Abstain.
I'm abstaining.
Motion passes with 2 abstentions. Public speak time. This is the opportunity to address the council regarding any topic not listed on the public hearing. We don't have any public hearing today, but is anyone for the public want to address any concern or questions to the council? We are not allowed to answer today, but eventually we'll answer. So this is the time. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Lindsay Rothschild. My address is 73 Mount Tom Avenue, and I'm a former city councilor at large. Congratulations and welcome new Councilor Smith and Councilor Terrell. I'm glad you are both here, and yet I worry. What will your experience be like? I came to speak on a topic that everyone on this council is aware of. I'm going to say it out loud. Name the elephant in the room, if you will. It is very difficult to conduct the business of the city while also having to navigate around Councilor Zaret's constant need for attention and admiration. The pressure he applies to defend him and credit him. The victimization that he employs to avoid accountability and to blame shift. These behaviors are persistent and ongoing. And when one does lay down boundaries to stand up or stands up to him, it results in vengeful and retaliatory behavior. I resigned because my mental health was suffering as a result of these behaviors. And I'm sad that I could not endure and that it drove me from serving Easthampton, which I so enjoyed doing. Additionally, while I was on the council, I received complaints from 3 women serving on 3 different city committees. One cited Councilor Zaret as being a performative ally, while at the same time undermining the group's decision-making. Another cited that he undermined her credibility when she disagreed with him by inferring she had a lack of knowledge and experience. And he's done that to council members as well, including Councilor Denham, which I've watched. And yet another cited that he reprimanded her for not keeping him informed and undermined her decisions as chair of her committee. Also, as Council President Conniff's term progressed, she received increasingly hostile and accusatory emails from Councilor Zaret. Councilor Riss, then the Vice President of the Council, finally had had enough and communicated that he wouldn't tolerate any more of these inflammatory emails. That was when Councilor Zaret turned his attacks towards Councilor Riss, which we read about in the newspaper in November 2022, and also influenced his decision to resign. In one of the council meetings this past November, Councilor Zaret referenced these articles, calling them a public smear, and even suggested that they were the result of anti-Semitism. This was a disgusting new low. The comments that we made were a result of our experience in working with Councilor Zaret and being subjected to his behavior. Invoking anti-Semitism to blame shift and negate accountability for his behavior is appalling, shameful. Imagine working on a city council where you didn't have to navigate his behavior. Think about it for a little while. What would that be like? How much more productive could you be to benefit the city of Easthampton? I don't have a solution for you beyond what the voters can do. It's truly vexing. However, my advice is this: make clear boundaries. Do not allow yourselves to be manipulated. Speak up when you witness or experience the behavior. Use the council tools at your disposal and know that it's okay to say no to him and his behaviors. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone participating remote? Want to participate in public speak time? I didn't see anyone else. No? We have a resolution that we approve every term. I will pass it to Councilor Denham. This is a resolution about pertaining to discrimination and intolerance. The council is not going to tolerate any discrimination.
So this is in the form of a motion. It's the Easthampton City Council resolution pertaining to discrimination and intolerance. Whereas one of the fundamental core values of the city of Easthampton is to treat all persons with respect and dignity. And whereas the city of Easthampton values all of its citizens and recognizes that the many races and ethnicities of its citizens have contributed to the strength of character of Easthampton. And whereas the city of Easthampton recognizes the strength in diversity and inclusiveness of its citizenry. And now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that the city of Easthampton and its representatives shall not condone or tolerate any form of discrimination and will create spaces of inclusion by challenging any and all forms of discrimination on the basis of race, color, class, religious creed, age, familial status, national origin, immigration status, sexual orientation, sex, gender identity or expression, disabilities, or veteran status.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to reaffirmation of the Easthampton City Council resolution pertaining discrimination and intolerance. Any further discussion? Seeing none, for those one in favor?
Aye.
Any against, abstention? Motion passes. Communication from elected officials, boards, and committee. Any councilor have anything for tonight? Councilor Peak.
Thank you, Mr. President. I initially was going to prepare a whole presentation about this. I decided that would be annoying, so I didn't do it. But I just wanted to say off the bat, I was thinking a lot over. Thanks. I was thinking a lot over the last. The holiday break about our last term, and there was a lot about our last term that I think that I liked, but I think just looking back across the agendas, one thing that I noticed is we didn't do like a lot of policy work. You know, we vetted a lot of things that the mayor introduced, and some of those things like the school reuse have have big, important impacts. I'm not suggesting that nothing we did mattered. I'm certainly not. But I do think that in terms of us proactively introducing new ideas for how things could operate differently in the city, we were a little bit light. And I take as much responsibility for that as I put on anybody else, perhaps more. So I'm not trying to make anybody, call anyone out or anything. I just think that this time around, it's not like sometime in the last 2 years, Easthampton started having less problems. We have the same challenges that we had 2 years ago, which are largely the same challenges we had 4 years ago, except for there's some additional challenges that came up. And so I say this not to get down on us for last time, but just sort of really in a positive way, that I just want to constructively challenge my colleagues here to maybe have a little bit of a change of pace this time around, to really start getting out, engaging with people. I know that engaging with people post-COVID is weird. There's not as many gatherings and community events as there used to be, so it's harder. But I just want to see if we can maybe make a little bit of a push to really connect with people, see what people are asking from us, and try and just throw some ideas out there for how we can maybe really start challenging or addressing some of these challenges. And they're complicated, and I don't expect us to have answers to everything right off the bat. So it's tough. It was tough last year. It'll be tough this time. But I just think it's something that, just looking through the agendas, I couldn't help but notice there weren't a lot of things where we brought a new suggestion and worked it through and brought it to fruition compared to the 2018-2019 term, or even the 2020-2021 term, which obviously was a really challenging term in its own ways. But I feel like even then we were turning stuff around a little bit faster than we were last time. I don't want to see that become the norm for councils going forward. I think we need to reestablish ourselves as a problem-solving body. And so I'm going to try my best to do that, and I'm just encouraging everybody else to challenge themselves to do that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Denham?
Yep. So thank you for that. Also, the Municipal Leadership Academy was supposed to start on Thursday, but because of a kind of a scheduling situation, it's actually going to start next Thursday on the 11th. So that will be our first one. So actually, if anyone would like to join that, there's still an opportunity to apply for that. So the application is on the city website. So if people want to do that, they are more than welcome. And we're certainly very excited about getting that off the ground and going. And the second thing is just in terms of outreach to the community, President Gomez and I on Monday, June 8th, from 6 to 7 at the library, we're going to have office hours, so in the library. So if anything that you'd like to talk about, concerns that you might have, suggestions, we will be available to answer questions and connect with the community. So again, that's Monday, June 8th, 6 o'clock at the library. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other Councilor? Councilor Riley?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I know, over the last few winters, we've had some seasonably warm months. I do recognize, though, that January and February tend to bring a lot of cold snaps, and with that, extra costs related to heating our homes. So I just wanted to put an announcement out to the public that if you have difficulty paying for your utility bills, there is fuel assistance that's available through the Community Action Pioneer Valley. And you can also access raft funds through Wayfinders. If you have any questions specifically about accessing those programs, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Also, there are advocates on the Affordable and Fair Housing Partnership with direct knowledge of those programs. You can also reach out to them as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other Councilor? Mayor's communication. The Mayor?
I have nothing.
Thank you. I don't have anything tonight either. Standing Committee report. Finance, Councilor Peak.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we're going to be meeting this coming Wednesday, which would be the 10th at 5:30. And at that meeting, we're going to be discussing 2 interdepartmental transfers. One's from assessors to IT to subscribe to a web-based application called Nearmap, and then $150 for an old bill from the Board of Health. Oh, yes, also, I'm chair, and Councilor Terrell is clerk, and I'm going to be the CPA representative.
Thank you. Police safety, I guess, is Councilor Sarrett?
Yes, we held a 2-person conversation about reorganization. I'll be chairing the committee, and Councilor Riley, who does exceptional minutes, will be clerking. We don't have a meeting set as of yet. We will make it a point to wrap up the Ordinance Review Committee final report probably this quarter. There's just a few little loose ends there, and this concludes.
Thank you, Councilor Sarrett. Appointment, Councilor Riley.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the Appointments Committee has not met since our last meeting. We did just have our reorganization. So I will be serving an additional term as chair, and then Councilor Gomez will be the clerk. We will be meeting next on Tuesday, the 16th at 6 p.m. to discuss an appointment that was left over from the calendar year prior, plus appointments from new business tonight. Going forward, meetings will be on the Mondays leading up to city councils. The reason for the 16th this coming week is because of Martin Luther King Day. So, and then thus concludes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Riley. Ordinance, Councilor Denham.
So, thank you, Mr. President. Just in terms of our reorg, I will be the chair of the committee, and Councilor Smith will be the clerk for the committee. And this is my first time sitting on this committee, but it looks like there's an amendment to the electronic message sign ordinance that will be taken care of or addressed at our next meeting. We have not yet scheduled a meeting, and I will take care of that this week. Thus concludes.
Thank you, Councilor Denham. Property, Councilor Sarrett.
Thank you, Mr. President. We met to reorganize. I'll be chairing property, and Councilor Peak will be clerking. We have the poll location request, and I will gather some information from Councilor Kwasinski about where that stands, and we will set a meeting for that. And this concludes.
Thank you, Councilor Sarrett. Rules, Councilor Kwasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Rules Committee voted to have me be the chair of the committee, and I much appreciated. And Councilor Terrell will be the clerk of the Rules Committee. There's currently one item on the agenda, and that's the request for a special act of the legislature to implement a multi-winner ranked choice voting system. And practically speaking, that issue couldn't take effect until 2 years from now, essentially. But we'll be looking at, how fast we want to move that, how quickly, the issues of whether or not we have the authority to act, or this is something that has to go before the voters directly in order to have them approve formally this, rather than have a suggestion on the ballot. So we'll be discussing those matters. We have not yet set a time.
To conclude, thank you, Councilor Kwasinski. All business, we still have an item there. Councilor Denham, do you want to keep it there, and then you're going to introduce a letter for the next meeting?
Yes, I was just waiting for the new committee to be set.
Thank you, Councilor. New business, we have 2 new appointments. Councilor Peak is going to read it.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we have 2 new appointments. The first one is Gary Turku to the Council on Aging with a term expiration of 12/31/2025. The other is James Crawford to the Manhan Rail Trail Committee with a term expiration of 12/31/2024.
And this motion is to send it to the Appointments
Yes, I'm
Committee.
going to make a motion to send those to the Appointments Committee.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to send those to mayoral appointments to the Appointments Committee. Any further discussion? Seeing none, for those one in favor?
Aye.
Any against, abstention? Motion passes. Look like we do everything we have on our agenda tonight. Welcome to the new two counselors, Councilor Smith and Councilor Terrell, and we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. For those in favor?
Aye.
Any against, abstention? Motion passes. Thank you, everybody.